So why are people unemployed in the first place? The community has a lot of different ideas about this. Herald Sun is interesting to read, not only if you're a football fan, but because you will read a particular view there, and I'm not talking so much about the view in the editorials or from some of the journalists, but the letters page is fascinating, reading what people have to say. You're going to get a very different picture there to if you read the letters page in The Age, for example, the Sydney Morning Herald. And again, the Australian, because even though the Australian has a very conservative editorial bent, it is still sort of regarded by a lot of people as the quality paper, being the only national newspaper. So there are a lot of views which you do see in the media. In my opinion, there are probably three main causes. One is structural factors like economic and social deprivation and inequality. There's no doubt many unemployed people are heavily constrained by limited life opportunities compared to other people. So that could include, for example, personal deficits like a physical disability or a psychiatric disability or an intellectual disability or a social disability or a language deficit or a literacy deficit and so on. Some groups, including young people leaving out-of-home care who often have been victims of childhood abuse and neglect, who are one of the main groups I research. People recovering from mental illness, often people may have an illness which is seen as a short-term illness, and you know the attitude is, oh, you're over that now, you can go back to work and everything's going to be honky-dory. But of course, people can go up and down and relapse. That is common with mental illness. People that have fled family violence, refugees escaping political or ethnic persecution, and people formerly involved in substance abuse. They may have to use income security payments to access basic necessities and rebuild their lives. And the reality is some people may need a long, long time before they have recovered sufficiently from past traumas and experiences of grief and loss to access training or employment. Now, there are a second group, which I guess the group that the Herald Sun tend to really focus on, where negative individual behaviour and choices can undermine opportunities for employment. And most people that work for non-government welfare agencies would acknowledge that some of the unemployed engage in what you may call antisocial behaviour. So that could be drug and alcohol use, it could be criminal activities, it could be gambling, violence towards family members, or involvement in dysfunctional relationships. And that behaviour may not improve their life chances. Some may simply refuse to seriously seek employment for a range of reasons. My question is, what is the value of any of forcing those who are recalcitrant into the workforce? Is that coercion really going to constitute a net benefit for society generally, or the specific employers involved, or the individuals involved? Have a think about that one and then come back to it. A third cause of unemployment can be a locational factor. We know that many postcodes, the term that Tony Vincent from Jesuit Social Services popularised, many locations or postcodes have a shortage of employment opportunities. So there may be particular rural areas, for example, where there is not a lot of work going, where big industries, manufacturing have shut down, a lot of people have lost jobs that they've worked in for many years, and there's just very few opportunities. Alternatively, some areas, probably around here, I don't live that far from here, may have a surplus of work in highly skilled trades like information technology or engineering. And of course, in Western Australia, there's that big demand for people that can work in mining that have skills in that area. But the potential option of relocation is really not a catch-all solution for a range of reasons. There could be highly varied housing costs in different regions. It is important to have access to supportive family and friendship networks, and so for some people may preclude them moving. And there are also the practical difficulty of matching the unemployed and their skill level with the available job opportunities. Because if someone is not literate or is unskilled and does not have the capacity to learn IT or internet skills, then many jobs may simply not be possible for them. My belief is, if we look both at the complex causes of unemployment and the reality of the high numbers of long-term unemployed, that there is no easy solution to the unemployment issue. And on the contrary, I think it is likely that hundreds of thousands of Australians will never access full-time employment. There's arguably no economic or social benefit to be gained from pretending otherwise. And we as a society have to decide at a political level, and I guess also at a moral and ethical level, what levels of income support we are going to provide to those people. At present, the low level of New Start allowance, which as we know since 1997 has dropped from 91% of the 91% of the single pension rate to 65%, and from 46% of the median household income to 36%, ensures that anyone relying on New Start alone is going to be deprived of many of the basic necessities of modern life. It also has potentially adverse implications for social cohesion and may lead to greater costs in other areas like healthcare and also criminal justice. The only serious rationale for the distinction between different groups of income security recipients is that the unemployed are viewed by the government and presumably by the community in general as being less deserving than other groups like aged pensioners and carers.